the Kennel Club of Philadelphia held the American Kennel Club National Dog Show. This prestigious event picks one dog to be the best in show for the event. Past event winners have been bulldogs, hounds, terriers, and a variety of sporting and herding dogs. The American Kennel Club, or AKC, has some 200 plus recognized breeds. Every breed has a official standard, which describes the breed's general appearance, size, proportion, substance, head, expression, eyes, muzzle, neck, top line, temperament, and a whole list of other stuff. The AKC categorizes the 200-some breeds into 7 groups for competition purposes. The sporting group are dogs that were bred to hunt game and birds. The hound group are dogs that were bred mostly for sight or scent, but also for hunting. The working group are dogs that were bred to pull carts, guard property, or provide search and rescue services. The terrier group were dogs that were bred to rid property of vermin and rats. The herding group, as the name indicates, are dogs that were bred to help shepherds and ranchers herd their livestock. The toy group were bred to be household companions. Finally, the non-sporting group are dogs of various sizes and shapes, mostly companion dogs, but can also include the Dalmatian, which is famous as a firefighter dog. The National Dog Show had 1,940 entries in 2024. This was whittled down until we got to 7 group winners. The 7 group winners then compete until there is a final best in show dog. The process of judging asks the judge to pick the best example of each breed, then the best example of each group, and finally the best in show. The judges are asked to compare the dogs against the standards set for the breed by the AKC, and eventually pick the dog that is the best example of a group, and finally to judge the best of each group against each other. For 2024, the best in show dog was the pug. Here are a few snippets of how the commentators explained the process at the National Dog Show.
Each breed has a standard that defines the qualities of what we want in that breed. Judging dogs is a lot of pattern recognition, so you learn to recognize the shapes, how they move. You have to decide, is that Chihuahua a better example of a Chihuahua than the Great Dane is an example of a Great Dane?
The competition, in my opinion, is a beauty contest. Another way to examine the field of potential dogs for you to purchase and own is by looking at the popularity of registered AKC dogs. This list may not be as accurate as far as the number of such dogs out there, because there may be quite a bit of unregistered breeding going on out there, or there may be mixing of breeds by some breeders which would not qualify for registration. You could have a Labradoodle, or one breeder may decide to bring in 2 different breeds for certain traits together. But as a general proposition, it is pretty clear that bulldogs and retrievers are quite popular in the United States. Here is Steve Kornacki putting it all in perspective.
All right, we're finding out what's popular with the judges, but what about what's popular all across the country? Let's take a look at this year's rankings, the top dog breeds in the United States here. And look, last year it was a big story. The French Bulldog last year dethroned the Labrador Retriever, which had been the most popular breed for 31 straight years. People said, was that a fluke? Was it a one-hit wonder? Was it an accounting error? It was none of those things. The French Bulldog retains the #1 spot for the 2nd straight year. The Labs have got to pick it up if they want to get back to #1. Let's look now at the rest of the top 10 here. I'm going to tell you something you've probably not heard that often. A big stride for the Dachshunds, moving from #9 up to #6, knocking on the door of the top 5. And you see in 9th place there, the Rottweilers. They've fallen from 7th. They want to keep in the top 10 next year. Let's see if they can next year when we check in. How about some movers and shakers here? We're talking about maybe some emerging dog breeds like, how about the Moody? Just 2 years ago, became a recognized breed in this country, already now making noise, moving 20 spots in just the last year. Or the Finnish Lappoon, look at that, a 32 2-spot jump there. Good family dog. The Basenjis, the Papians too, also making a little bit of noise here.
All of these statistics are on the AKC website for each of the breeds, and you can search the breed and gain some perspective about the breed's pros and cons. The AKC will provide the range of height, weight, life expectancy, then go into breed traits and characteristics ranging from family life to physical, social, and personality traits, which are somewhat informative. So for the pug, to take it as an example, the 2024 dog show winner, we see that the pug is a small dog that has an average lifespan of around 14 years, is lovey-dovey with the family, good with children and other dogs, not a drooler, and is a big shedder despite having short hair that needs grooming more than once a month. The pug will also probably lick strangers and play with everyone, and might even bark if someone is at the door, but not really a guard dog. Probably not very trainable, although eager to please with moderate energy levels. A little history of the dog is provided, and one important note is that pug owners say their breed is the ideal house dog. This is important because, as I'll explain in a little bit, the criteria that I use in determining what's the best dog for about 85 or 90% of the population out there is a lot different than what the criteria are for the 7 categories. These toy dogs, like the pug, do not have big bladders, so you must be prepared for many accidents and mistakes. Another major consideration when it comes to picking a breed that you want to own is availability. Once you narrow your search down to a few breeds that fit your lifestyle and desire, the AKC has a marketplace of over 20,000 breeders all across the country where you can find a suitable dog without having to travel too far. You simply put in the breed, gender, and your location and ask for a search of available litters that are within an acceptable distance to you. The lower down the list of popular breeds you go, the less likely you'll be able to find a litter from a reputable breeder close to you. And as explained later, it's very important that you visit the litter and meet all of the dogs, because you can apply quick tests where you hold the dog in the air, see if it wiggles, hold the dog down, see if it fights you, and otherwise playfully annoy the dog to see the dog's reaction. You want to see if the dog will come to you when its name is called, whether the dog shakes or is afraid of sounds, whether the dog is clingy or independent, and finally whether the dog nips when you have a couple of pieces of kibble in your hand. Also, you want to talk to the breeder. Most breeders will be honest and upfront about the dog's mannerism. They don't want a bad fit and a call from you in a few weeks asking to return the dog. Listen to the breeder. Meet the parents of the dog if possible. Ask about escapability, excessive barking or howling, and separation anxiety. What do I mean by these? Escapability. When you have a pen where the puppies are kept in, do you have one of the dogs that regularly tries to run and escape out of there or jump over the walls of the pen? When you're talking about excessive barking or howling, do you have a dog who sits in the pen and throughout the night howls or barks for no reason whatsoever? Do you have separation anxiety? You'll have a dog who whimpers and cries a lot and scratches at the walls of a pen. Also ask about testing for common diseases and vaccinations. Remember, you're making a commitment of anywhere from 8 to 20 years of dog ownership. So the rankings that I use are not for people that are looking to use their dog to help run a farm or go hunting with the dog or herd livestock with the dog or use their dog for competitive purposes. For the majority of us, we want a dog that is calm and will not rearrange the house while you're gone, doesn't have separation anxiety when left alone, doesn't run away off leash, can be potty trained easily, and does not bark a lot. Finally, the biggest and most important thing is, once you've narrowed your selection down to 2 or 3, can you find a reputable breeder close to you for the purchase of that dog? So my selections, and what I tried to do is go in every category of size for breeds and try to find dogs that are easygoing, don't bark a lot, don't require a tremendous amount of effort by you, and can be in your household and around your family, and even in an apartment building without having too much trouble or complaints from neighbors. So the last thing that you'll see in this video is where I found some expert commentary on how to pick a litter. It's very important that once you've found a breeder, that you go out and you meet the litter as soon as possible before the date the litter will be ready. This means an extra trip, but I cannot stress how important it is to go out and meet the dogs in the litter. You will not believe the spectrum of personalities that the one litter can have when it comes to those puppies. You could have bullies on the one end and timid dogs on the other. When you view the videos, please like and subscribe to the commentators that I found. It was quite a difficult process to find folks that have great informative knowledge and we're not just some AI generated voice and some stock pictures and videos. On the bigger side, the biggest dog, if that's what you're looking for, on the big side, I would recommend a Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. Going a little bit smaller, a German Shorthair Pointer. If you're more of an active person, this dog needs a lot of exercise. And so if you're the kind of person that goes hiking a lot, that likes to run a lot, then this dog is probably a better choice for you. But if you're not that kind of a person and you go to work and you come home and you really want to relax on a couch, a Labrador Retriever might be a better and of a more medium-sized dog for you.
Greater Swiss Mountain Dog. Until quite recently, these great dogs were thought to be extinct. Efforts to salvage this breed was successful. These giants are calm, sensible, and loyal, and are very easily trained by skilled owners. Greater Swiss Mountain Dog.
Get upwards of 150 pounds. They have a short coat, but it's a double coat. It protects them from the elements. These guys actually have a really good, healthy reputation. Now, there are a few genetic issues like hip dysplasia, lick fit. Lick fit is where they lick a lot of things, carpets and things like that, and they end up eating a lot of stuff too. They can obsessively lick things. These guys have a tendency to ingest a lot of foreign objects that aren't food, which can obviously create a lot of problems with their digestive system. They can live anywhere up between 8 and 12 years. So if you're somebody who likes to go out and run and toss a ball and do all those things, that's what you really, really enjoy doing, probably not a good fit for you. Instead, if you're somebody who likes to take a lot of walks throughout the day, some light hikes, things like that, then this would be a much better fit. They really like to be around their owners a lot. They like their people. They almost always have to be in some sort of physical contact with you at all times.
The German Shorthair Pointer with its webbed feet is a retriever on land and in water. He was developed in Germany and Austria in the 19th century. He is easily trained and is an exceptionally fine all-round hunting dog.
I see his mouth. Stay.
Good boy, stay. Just a camera. Good boy, stay, stay.
Take him down and back, please, to the spot.
German Shorthair Pointer.
Tall, lean, muscular dog, extremely strong. They don't look it, they're a little bit on the lanky side, but very strong dogs. As I said, they were originally bred as a bird hunting dog, and they still are used and bred today for the same purpose. Let's start off with health. Pretty healthy dog, not a whole lot of health issues. They are a deep-chested dog, which means they have a deep chest. That's boxers have it, greyhounds have it. I would say that a very healthy breed, in my opinion. They live long, healthy life, 12 to 14 years. They are the biggest crybabies on the face of the planet, but only if they're not worked appropriately, only if they're not given the right amount of activity. They are a jumpy breed, so maybe jumping on them, that's the only issue with these guys that you'd have to worry about. An excellent dog to have with others. They play very nice with others, make great family pets, great with people, great with little kids, great with other dogs.
The Labrador Retrievers, they have an American and an English style. which gets talked about later in the video. And if you are more for a couch potato, then you want to go with the English, which is a blockier head version of the Labrador Retriever. And if you want something that's hyper and runs around all the time, then you want to go with an American bred Labrador Retriever.
The Labrador Retriever is not a product of Labrador, but of Newfoundland. Like the Golden, the Labrador is now one of the main breeds used for leading the blind and working with other assistance dog capacities, such as search and rescue.
Thank you. Down and back, please, to the spot on the carpet.
Labrador Retriever.
We're going to talk about the difference between American Labradors and English Labradors. What's the difference? You have a group of breeders who are breeding specifically for the field trials, for the hunting industry or the sporting industry. And then on the other side, you have a group of breeders who are breeding specifically for show dogs. And these specific purposes in the breeding programs led to what we now have and refer to as English Labradors and American Labradors. They're not different breeds.
Originates from Canada. Originally, the dog was used to retrieve fishing equipment and also for hunting, such as ducks and birds. They're a great working dog and by far the most popular companion dog in America. Labs have a very sweet temperament. They're great with kids, great with other dogs, and they're great with people. Overall, just a super friendly dog. I'd say that's the only downside. Other than that, they're really super sweet and just a great family dog and companion dog. They're a hardy breed, so they do well in almost all weather conditions. If you exercise them right, feed them right, there's no reason why this dog can't live a long, happy life.
If you go one size down from that, a great dog is a Vizsla. These dogs are in the medium and small size. They were bred as hunting dogs in the past, but if you can find a female with a calm demeanor, these dogs can be wonderful companions. Go on walks with you, in the backyard with you, fetch for you, all of those things that without having to go out and run around with the dog for 3 hours a day or try to give that much exercise to them or have to take them hunting trips where they have to run out and run. Although they can do it, but the Vizsla is a smaller sized dog that can be a good companion and a homebody.
Vizsla. This is far and away Hungary's most famous hunting dog. His background is almost certainly hound and some Transylvania pointing dogs. He was not really known in this country until after World War II when the GIs brought them back from Europe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can I see the bite, please? Thank you. Down and back, please, to the spot on carpet.
Vizsla.
The Vizsla is definitely the most popular amongst people who get them solely as a family companion. These guys are very small, which makes them very, very popular. They have a very thin coat on them, so they're not suitable to be outside in the cold weather for a long period of time. One of my favorite things is they're a very, very healthy breed. Not a lot of health issues with these guys. There is, of course, there can be hip dysplasia, although very rare. So let's move on to temperament. Now, the Vizsla, like I said before, is the most popular of the pointing dogs that is used primarily as a family companion. Meaning people don't get them because they want to hunt them, they want them because they just want them in the house, not as a working dog, but just as a family companion. And there's a good reason for that because they make excellent family companions or just companions in general if you don't have a family. Very, very sweet. They love their people. They just really love being around their owners. They love to spend time with you. They like to sit with you. They like to lay with you. They can be a very sensitive dog. If you're not spending enough time with them, they will get sad. They'll mope around. Not really a great guard dog. Excellent with children. Very good with little kids. For being such an active dog, these guys are very gentle around children. And very good with other dogs too. I've never had a problem working with Vizslas. Very intelligent dog, very easy to train. These guys pick things up really, really well. Sit, hum, great dog to have off leash.
The next one down is a Beagle. This is more on the larger of the small sizes. Beagles are, you really need to go to the litter to pick one. And you need to eventually think about bringing in a second Beagle. These dogs were bred to be intelligent and independent and to figure out how to dig holes and go after prey. And so the hunters would let them loose and they would go out and do their thing and bark a lot and howl a lot and try to catch their or point towards or get the hunters over towards their prey. But a lot of that has been bred out of the Beagle, especially if you talk to your breeder and have a discussion about them. The one thing that's the hardest with the Beagle is a human has 5 million sensors in their nose. Beagle has 220 million sensors in their nose. So their nose is always to the ground. They're always sniffing. So that's a distraction. And so they become harder to train. They become a little bit harder to manage.
The Beagle comes in two varieties, those under 13 inches and those over 13, but not more than 15.
Show me the bite.
Otherwise, the standards
Thank you.
are the same. The Beagle is one of the most popular hounds in America, and although an outstanding scent hound in the field, he's also a first-rate companion at home.
Down and back to the marker.
This, by the way, is Beagle 15-inch.
They have been bred to work very closely with humans, by humans. Therefore, they're very closely attached to their human. When you leave them home alone or leave them for a few hours, they do suffer from that separation anxiety. They are escape artists. This means that they're physically and mentally capable of running away or escaping from unimaginable situations and conditions. Beagles, they shed all the time. Many Beagle owners have a hard time walking their Beagle, especially walking them off leash. Beagles are sniff dogs and their nose is always on the ground. Some call them four-legged nose. They're basically loud dogs, especially if they are excited, especially if they are left home alone. Therefore, Beagles are not ideal apartment dogs. They don't listen to you, they disobey you, they follow their own mind.
On the small side, one of the best dogs out there is a Boston Terrier, and on the smallest size, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. These last two dogs are basically couch potatoes. The only problem is that as you start to go smaller and smaller in dog size, the number of potential diseases increase. And some of these diseases can be very, very costly managed through a veterinarian. There could be a lot more food allergies. So make sure that if you do go with a Boston Terrier or a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, that you find a very good breeder, and these breeders can do genetic testing to make sure that bad things aren't there. And also the Cavalier King Charles has potential for some heart trouble, and so the parents should be at least 2.5 years old before they're used for breeding purposes.
The Boston Terrier. This breed did originate in the Boston area in the 1870s and is Massachusetts state dog. He is one of the few breeds that did start here in the United States.
Good afternoon.
The Boston's
How are you?
personality
Well,
has
thank
won him
you.
the nickname
Good, thank you.
the American Gentleman.
See the bite, please. Good. Down to the marker and back.
Their impeccable manners have earned the breed the nickname of the American Gentleman. Now, the Boston Terrier is loving, playful, well-mannered, easy to train, and are devoted to the entire family. They are not known to bark a lot, which makes them suitable for apartment living or for families that cannot go on long walks or spend hours exercising them. They love to play with their family for a little while and then snuggle up for the rest of the day, making them ideal for older people who want a dog to help them stay active, yet be calm, chill and lovable within the home. Now, when it comes to children and small animals or strangers, Bostons are a great choice, especially for young families. The little American gentleman is sure to bring joy and comfort to even the smallest of homes or apartments.
Boston Terriers are not outdoor dogs. So whenever we go outside, in and out, if you like taking your dog poop and pee just for a second, Boston might be a good choice, because as soon as Bella goes outside, she wants to run right back in. She does her business, no messing around. We don't take her for walks during the hottest part of the day, maybe in the morning and in the afternoon. If you're somebody that doesn't like cuddles with dogs, the Boston Terrier breed is not for you. Now, if you enjoy having your dog lay and sleep with you in bed, keep in mind they do snore and they do fart.
Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. The Cavalier King Charles Spaniel has been very popular in America after coming here about 40 years ago.
Hello.
It is named after
Hi.
both Charles I and II,
Congratulations.
who fancied these little dogs in England. Its following here is growing and very devoted. Shown in 4 color sizes and varieties, these dogs are very friendly without shyness or bad temper. This, by the way, is
bite,
Blenheim,
please.
chestnut on pearly
Thank
white.
you. Down the back.
Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
They need to be spending time with you on a daily basis. And the most ridiculous one is that they need constant babying. The difficulty of training was going to be pretty high. They can have heart problems, which can be counteracted with their diet and exercise. They also have problems with their joints, and also they can have brain issues, which really can't be done anything for other than regular vet checks.
They also have a low to moderate energy level and are quite happy to lay on your lap or snooze on the couch all day. Their coats are luxurious, long and silky, with feathering on the ears and along the chest, body and haunches. They require regular grooming to trim that fur that grows between the pads of their toes and preventing mats from forming on their ears. Grooming time and costs will be higher with this breed.
I've had Cavaliers for 35 years. They do now have a lot of health problems. So if you buy a Cavalier, you need to do some very careful homework and check your breeder very carefully. A responsible breeder for Cavaliers will test eyes, hearts and syringomyelia, which is a very painful neurological problem. There is a simple DNA test that can be done now.
So you want to go out and you want to meet with the breeder and all of the litter. It's very important that when you go out that first you ask the breeder about the mannerism of the parents and then perform the test that follows here to find a puppy that meets your personality and lifestyle. The breeder will give you a date when they will begin to separate the litter. And so before the puppies are all separated out, you can go out and touch and play with a few of them to see which one actually will fit best for your personality and lifestyle.
So today we're going to be covering how to pick from a litter. So let's bring in this purple here. Name is Whoopi. She is also pretty calm. I'm gonna do the back test. Now she's also very relaxed. I think she would do good in any household. That scared her a little bit, but she's very chill. Doesn't seem that interested in toys. She's very gentle. Yes, she's pretty sweet. She tends to blend in compared to the others. She doesn't really stand out. She's more on the submissive side for sure. This is beige collar Marianne. People, super playful, very independent. She's so playful, she climbs the walls. I always find her out of the box and I have to clean up all the poop and pee. Whenever she pees, oh, she's pretty crazy. Very wiggly. Will need a lot of attention. Ooh, has a lot of energy. Touching her paws. She's pretty dominant and very intelligent. She can be stubborn.